I bet you can hear me now. I bet you can hear me now. No video? What do you mean no video? I got video here. No video? Try it again. What about you, Panky? What you got? What you got? Now you do. I told you get rid of that Obama phone, man. You know, once Trump came to office, that shit wasn't gonna work no more. Man, some people are made of plastic. You know, some people. I can't false no more. Some people have hearts of stone. Some people up to no good. But baby, now let me stop. It ain't me. It's it's the libation, I tell you. Okay, I'm drinking for a reason tonight, people. I'm drinking for a reason tonight. I went to the dentist today. I went to the dentist today. Um, and I got a little pain. I gotta have some dental work done. The dentist asked me, he says, "Well, what is it you want?" I said, I want my teeth to look like they look when, you know, I was in my teens, when I had them pearly whites. And he says, "Yeah, well that would be fantastic." He says, "But there's two things," and he started trying to explain the difference between whitening and bleaching. I'm like, "Yo, man, just fix my teeth. This up." Because I plan to be here about 20 more years, at least 20 to 35. Make sure bro can chew on some pecans, some almonds, and stuff like that. Hey, hey, for real though. So I'm gonna start some shit tonight. I'm just giving y'all a heads up. I ain't telling y'all how I'm gonna start shit, but I'm gonna start some shit. I'm starting some shit. I'm gonna start some shit. Y'all know I've been trying to do this man and woman, this whole couples thing. I want to do this show, and I want you guys to be able to participate. So, get you what? Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Don't. How crazy behind gonna tell me give me a white dentist set? If y'all know the old Denzel, like from St. Elsewhere, my man had like the little, so he got his teeth fixed. I don't know if he got an overlay or if he just got them done, but if I had 10,000 lying around, I probably wouldn't do it anyway. You know, I'm still trying to deal with, thinning and graying and all of that. This side is completely gray for the most part. Got a little black up here. This side, I got the streak of black. So salt and peppers here. Salt and peppers here. Salt. Yeah, I'm bugging people. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How you doing? I got veneers. She got vinyl teeth. Let me stop bugging. She got veneers. Now I had a two pull, and I'm probably gonna get a, an implant put in its place because what I noticed is I was looking at myself on camera, and this is just me. I don't know. I have this thing about teeth, people. I cannot talk to a woman with a jacked up mouth. If you can't take care of your mouth, you can't take care of a man. So by the same token, if I put her in that category, I want to present the things that I look for. You feel me? So I want a woman to look at me and say, "Damn, you got some pretty teeth." You know what I mean? And then she wanna like, you know, you know what I mean? It's me. But the good thing was the dentist says, well, you really have some nice teeth and blah blah blah. I said, man, my teeth. I feel like I'm doing that commercial. Sometimes I don't want to smile. They said, why you talk through your teeth? I said, because my teeth, I got gold teeth, but they ain't as white as they used to be. I'm just being real. So it's me, people. If you notice, one thing I learned from Richard Pryor, before you mess with anybody else, make fun of yourself. So when you learn how to laugh at yourself, whether you have some sympathies or not, when you learn how to laugh at yourself, you can laugh at the world. That's my analogy. That's my philosophy. That's where I'm coming from. So, with that being said, this one's for you and you and you and you too. Uh, 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 uh. That is smooth. The hell? I got something in my cup. Well, the alcohol will kill it. It ain't nothing like that. It looks like a piece of food. So, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? So, folks, I'm bugging out tonight. Went to the dentist. I had a nice checkup. Talked about getting some things done. And with that being said, you know, I feel good about where I'm at. But by the same token, um, there's a relationship between your teeth and overall health, whether you understand it or not. Our teeth are so close to the brain and so forth and so on. So what this if we have abscesses and things like that, there's a chance of it going into what's called a mastoid and affecting the brain because the mastoids lay right behind the lower teeth. So I'm not gonna go into my anatomy and physiology tonight. I'm just gonna say good evening, good evening, good evening. How you doing? Greetings from NOLA. Yeah, I got a couple of my Facebook friends that's and family that's in the city this weekend. I'm jealous because I got all of these things going on here. I'm trying to get some work done on the house. Um, I know I've been in our house 2 years and I'm already tired of looking at certain things. I want new windows and doors and I want to pull up carpet and put in different floors and I'm not going wooden floors, not wooden floors in Florida, so probably tile, just little stuff. But I'm trying to get that done, and then I want to take me a little trip because I'm tired of turning on my TV and see. I gave Despicable Donnie, Despicable Delusional Donnie. I gave him a nickname, Despicable Delusional. So what Ron, the satanic one, I had to give him a name. So now his name is Repugnant Ron. You know me, Mr. Wordsmith. So it is what it is. I know it's festival time. Don't be telling me. I ain't going to, you ain't going to see me out at the fairgrounds getting ready for no, what they call that? Jazz Fest. I want a poster. I want a poster. I used to have a collection of Jazz Fest posters, and I don't know what happened to them. What's happening? And nothing shaking but leaves and trees, and that wouldn't be happening if not for the breeze. So your man is back in the house. It's about 8 past the half, so I'm gonna stop messing around and say good evening, welcome to the show. I was trying to wait for some of these people that some of you special folks. I went with wood like ceramic tile. I have that too. I have to show you. If you came and help me with my this is my homegirl. She like my big sister, but she don't want to act right. She This woman grows all of her own fruit and veggies, and I try to get her to come help me out, because she's from New Orleans, I'm from New Orleans. So that's kind of like we cousins, you know what I mean? We gumbo cousins, we etouffee family, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to get her to come help her brother out, and then she always want to talk about what she did, what she got. Well, nobody care about what you did, what you got. Share. I know your mama taught you that. Share, come help a brother out. So with that being said, I'm gonna say good evening and welcome to the show. My name is Hank Batiste, and before I do anything, I always want to start off by saying all of this truly humbles me. This truly humbles me that week in week out for the last 3 years, you guys have been tuning in to hear some of my hilarity, some of me, dropping science and kicking knowledge like field goals, trying to make sense of shit that don't make sense, trying to make it make sense, trying to omit the logic to make this make sense. Um, all of the things you could be doing on a Thursday night, you guys come here to watch me, and for that I'm truly humbled. So I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Again, my name is Hank Batiste. My show is called Omit the Logic. So before we go anywhere, I always say it at the end of my show. I'm gonna start saying it at the beginning of my show. Go to my YouTube, sign up, omit just like you say it. Omit DA Logic. Because if you look up omit THE Logic, you're gonna see Richard Pryor. So ironic, maybe just great minds, or whatever. Go to my YouTube page, sign up, subscribe, ring the bell, and then share it with some other people. I'm sure all the craziness I got there, and I'm glad a, a couple of the brothers here tonight, so y'all could represent. I'm gonna have to get you to help me hook up some things. So I was thinking about doing some of the what's it called, the voiceover thing, the clubhouse. I was thinking about doing it just so I could get some participation, but I'll see what's happening. I some of these shows I just want to be more participation, more feedback from you guys because I know I'm not the only one got something to say. So I need to get out the country for a little while, folks. My blood pressure's up, I'm agitated. Um, and that's probably why I'm doing some things around the house because living in Florida, every day you got to hear what these hateful people are doing, and it kind of it irks your last nerve. It gets on your reserve nerve to the point where um, you find yourself hollering at things and just being short, not necessarily short tempered, but short at things that shouldn't bother you, that wouldn't normally bother you, but you just your cups to run over. Um, I want to start some shit tonight, and then the second part, I'm gonna give you guys. I've been talking about families. I've been talking about getting back to basics because there's so many things when we look at the political arena, when we look at what's happening on the Supreme Court, when we look at what's happening in some of these places, even in my hometown of New Orleans, I got a mayor who jumps out of the limousine and starts twerking and say, yo, they know I could get down like that and sleeping with uh, the guy that's supposed to be the head of a security detail, and they were both married, and all kind of nonsense. So there's a lack of leadership in leadership positions, and I don't know if that's ironic or if it's just the erosion of where we once was. I remember once upon a time, people had this thing called decorum. They wanted to act like they had some sense. The mothers told them things like, okay, don't go out here and embarrass me. Act like you got some sense. Act like you have some home training. But now it appears that it's the adults who are the first. to act up and act out. You still with me, YouTube? Okay, I'm talking to myself. I don't see no thumbs. I don't see no love or what. So, with that being said, I'm talking about getting back to basics because we can't wait for folks to fix it for us. We have to fix ourselves first. And we have to be a shining example, not a ratchet example to our children and our grandchildren on how they should behave. In order for them to behave, we have to do, not say, do as I say, not as I do. We have to act right first. Said all of that to say this. The first year I did my show, I did a show called To Submit or Not. And I spelled submit with a dollar sign. And I did that purposely because we live in a capitalistic society with them that got to go make the rules, which basically means if a brother has money, then a woman will listen as long as he's taking care of her, providing for her, and so forth and so on. Um, I guess that's maybe I need my own little Beyonce, somebody that's going to bring something to the table so I don't have to worry about, my few little nickels. And deep down inside that that person is with you for who you are, not for what they could get out of you. Hence the submit or not. So tonight I kind of want to revisit that. And I'm going to do so by starting off with this little joke, if you will, that I wrote about man and woman. And I always said that I could prove that Adam and Eve were black because in the beginning, God made man. In Christianity, his name was Adam. But everything in our country is built up on Egyptology. 13 states, 13 stairs in the pyramid, 13 olive branches, 13 arrows, 13 original colonies. Why not 10 or 15? The number 13 is a sacred number. So I'm not going to go too deep into that. But I said that to say this. God created man. In Christianity, his name was Adam. In Egyptology, his name was Osiris. Her name was Isis. Their son's name was Horus. The Eye of Horus sits at the top of the pyramid. In our culture, it's called the all-seeing eye or the eye of providence. But all of this goes back. So if they could make Jesus look like Michelangelo's cousin, uncle, brother, then they could take some things away from us. So let's just break this down. The one thing that we have control over is how we relate to each other, man to woman, woman to man. And if in the beginning, man was put to sleep and God took a rib from him and created woman, then that woman shouldn't be a pain in his side, but she should walk besides him and in some ways support him and he support her. And maybe I'm a dinosaur in my way of thinking. Maybe I'm a male chauvinist pig. Maybe what I'm saying is gonna ruffle some female feathers, but so be it. One of the things that pissed me off when I hear a woman say, I believe in letting a man be a man. I don't know about the other brothers, but I was born with XY chromosome that gave me a pair in the swing. You understand what I'm saying? And that was not just to create life. It designated me to be a man. Now, I have 3 daughters. What I tell my daughters is if you do not trust giving yourself to a man, if you believe by giving yourself to this man, he's either going to take advantage of the gift that you've given him, or he does not have the vision in the direction to lead, then he's not the man for you. If he exploits the gift that you're giving him, I don't care how much money he has, I don't care how good he looks, I don't care how well he's putting it down, and no man wants to think of his daughter doing some of the nasty things that we do to other men's daughters. So let's just be real about it. Except me, I don't do nasty things. I just do insane shit. Okay, let me go back. Let me go back. Let me go back. Let me go back. Clean it up. Let me take a sip. Wash that out of my mouth. So I'm joking, but in the beginning, man had a relationship with God. One day in the Garden of Eden, Adam went to God for their daily meeting, and God said, yo, Adam, I got a job for you. What I need you to do today is go out and name the beast of the earth. Adam said, word? He says, yes. Um, every animal you need to name. He says, now, while you're doing that, let Eve know that far as gathering for dinner, she can pick anything in the garden, fruit, vegetable, what have you. But stay away from the tree of good and evil. So Adam goes back to Eve and he said, yo, Eve, look, God said that I have to go out and name the beast of the earth. She said, what? He says, yeah, like that's a dog, that's a monkey, that's a unicorn. He says, now you can pick any fruits, veggies, anything in the garden except the fruit from the tree of good and evil. God says if we partake of that fruit, we will surely die. And then Eve turned to Adam and said, okay, well, if I'm going to be slaving all day, you make sure you're here before it gets dark. Because in those days, there was no street light. So the sun was the original street light. So Eve was basically telling Adam, be back before the street lights come on, right? Okay, right. So Adam went about his way doing what he's doing. Eve went about her way doing what she's doing. And somewhere during the course of the day, Eve came upon this animal lying underneath this tree, making all of this noise, smacking and slurping and what have you. And being the person is a woman that she is, she says, look, you're getting on my nerve. Chew with your mouth closed. He says, oh, forgive me. He says, it's just I was eating this fruit and it's so sweet, it's so juicy, it's so succulent. I couldn't help myself. So Eve said, yeah, whatever. She walks off. And he continued to make this noise, so much to the point that Eve became irritated and said, well, what the hell are you eating? And he pointed to the tree. He says, I'm eating this fruit. And Eve said, no. Adam said that God said that that's the fruit of the forbidden tree, good and evil. If we partake of the fruit, we will surely die. And this animal that was called a serpent said, well, I don't know. I haven't died. As a matter of fact, this is my third piece. And look at it, was juice running all down my arm and this, that, and the other. And Eve just says, and she walked off. And curiosity got the better of her. And finally, she, on her way back, she says, he's still living. If it's that good, maybe I need to try something. So she partakes of the fruit. And now it's starting to get dark, so here comes Adam. And he's supposed to meet her at their rendezvous spot. And he didn't see her, and he said, yo, Eve, 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 Eve. So he walked a little bit, and he shouted her name again. Yo, Eve. And she stepped out from behind. You're right, this fig tree. And she had this leaf in front of her and behind her. And she turned to Adam and she said, hey, Adam, does this fig leaf make my butt look big? And Adam said, wait, what? She said, what are you talking about? She says, well, you ain't never home, and sometimes I get lonely and I don't have nobody to talk to. And today I was gathering fruit and veggies for dinner, and I was talking, and then I ran into this serpent, and he was in, and I ate his fruit. And he says, hold up, slow your roll, slow your roll, slow. What are you talking about? So when she broke it down and when she pointed to the tree, Adam said, no, that's the tree of good and evil. We partake of that fruit. Well, I ain't die. And if God said it, why didn't God tell me? You can't tell me what to do. You ain't none of my daddy. You ain't the boss of me. So, moral to the story was Eve was black. How do I know that? Because she was the first woman to say, be back before the street lights get on. She was the first woman to say, chew with your mouth closed. She was the first woman to say, does this make my butt look big? And she was the first woman to say, you ain't none of my daddy. You can't tell me what to do. You ain't the boss of me. So if that doesn't prove that Eve was black, I don't know what does. And if Eve was black and she came from Adam's rib, I rest. So with that being said, I know it's a comical way of presenting this thing, but I wonder, and I ask brothers sometimes, I said, what would you do if you were Adam? I probably would went to God and said, yo, God, look, oh man, I know you created this woman to be my partner, but she's been a major pain in my is this the only one? And if man and woman had that kind of problem getting along when supposedly there was one man and one woman, then how can we expect to get along in a harmonious manner in this day and age? So, ladies, I know you're sitting close to your phone, your keyboards, or what have you. I just want a show of hands. How many of you believe in submitting or following a man to lead you? Do you trust a man enough? Crickets? Crickets? Okay. Uh-huh. See, I'm making jokes, but I said all of that to say this. I tell this to my daughters because so many women are raised by single mothers who are struggling to be the head of the household, the breadwinner, the provider, and play everything. You've often heard me talk about my mom and the fact that my mom was a hell of a woman. But the one thing she could not teach me was how to become a man. She just didn't understand. And I didn't listen. Let's be real about it. When my daughter started to go through things in puberty, me being a healthcare professional, it's not like I could break out an anatomy chart and say, sweetheart, okay, well, let's talk about the reproductive system. At some point of your age, you're going to, no, 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 no. They weren't looking for anatomy and physiology teacher. They were looking for someone who could teach them and talk to them about things like cramps and what they were going through and the changes in their bodies and give them some firsthand experience on what it felt like when they went through those things. The problem is, we always talk about there's a lack of male leadership. I submit to you that there's a lack of female positive leadership that's teaching these young women certain things, especially if they grow up in a household without a man. So they don't know how to relate. Certainly, it's not this June Cleaver and Ward Cleaver Certainly, it's not the Cosby Show, nor is it Weezy and Jefferson. So, where do we get our definition of how we should behave in a relationship? Where? Once upon a time, it happened in church, but now we're talking about in church is tithes, offering, and prosperity. So, where? So, um, this is a time I really would have liked to open up the mic and put some people out there. My sister from New Orleans typed with exclamation points. We lead together in this house. Okay, that sounds good in theory, but somebody has to take the lead. Somebody has to be responsible enough, not only to trust the other person, but earn the other person's trust in return. Maybe I'm a dinosaur. I don't see no responses. Hmm. Couple women say if he knows how to lead, they'll follow. How do you define leadership? What is it about a man that attracts you? About three of these shows ago, I did the comparison of men and women. Do you think slavery changed the dynamic of the black family, where the black male lost the capacity or will to be heads of the family, a household? Um, I don't think it was slavery. Actually, I think during slavery, all they had were each other because they had no control over their own life. They had no control over their own children. So all they had to depend on, if he was beaten and flogged, he turned to her for comfort and compassion. If she was raped and accosted, she turned to him for compassion and understanding. So in my mind, adversity is either going to make you stronger or it's going to break you. Am I right or wrong? Okay, sister on YouTube said, how many leading men that are single out in the world? That takes me back to what I said earlier. So, Ms. Daniels, that's how I feel about it. And feel free to respond because if you ask me a question, I'm gonna answer the question, but it doesn't mean that I have the definitive answer. If Jesus was the Messiah and he couldn't lead the multitudes, then I certainly can't speak for everybody, especially our brothers. So, brothers, I know y'all can type. I know you can put up because when it comes to talking to that's my surrogate son. He says, keep on telling him. um, but I'm not coming down on anybody. I'm trying to understand because if my New Orleans play cousin says in this household we both lead and that works, that's fine. But that brings me into the next thing. Black folks have the highest divorce rate of any group, demographic group, followed by Hispanics. So once upon a time, those were the two ethnic groups that had probably the strongest bond between man, woman, and child. So I'm gonna pose another question. Has assimilation when we started to integrate, did we start to act like our captors or what? So black folks have the highest divorce rate. I've said this before. I remember a time when a woman was a school teacher or a nurse, and the best job the man could get was working on the riverfront or working on a sanitation truck or working as a laborer doing odd jobs or whatever. And I always made jokes that before there were forklifts, well, there were black men with very strong backs. So if she had this job where she was the primary breadwinner, she still didn't put the man down. And they led by example. Now, it seems like, again, the only time somebody is going to, a woman is going to follow is if it's financially advantageous. And one of the women on the show, I'm going to put on blast, we talked for a little bit. And she said the reason I was into her is because she could quote unquote carry her own water. And I said any woman could carry her own water because I remember when women not carried their own water, they carried their laundry in the scrub board. So that's not what attracts me to someone. But I keep saying if we did not grow up with an example of how to behave. We once upon a time they were called what? Roles. Some of them were based on gender, and some of them were based on our value system, adopted from church and other places, handed down from generation to generation. Because remember, our first deadbeat dads was our captors that came in and accosted and raped our women and fathered children and did nothing to take care of them. And then laid the title on us when they designed programs that were supposed to help the family. But the criteria for said program was that the man not be in the picture. So by design, the family was being ripped apart. So, Ms. Daniels, I think that might have something to do with it. Am I right or wrong? People will follow once the person has proven that they can lead, um, open communication and bearing goals. Oh, okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Let's go with that. I did a little research, and on this website, divorce.com, they said there are 13 reasons that marriages fail. And to me, commitment is a marriage of sorts. If you're committed to someone and you feel that commitment, you probably behave differently than just having a piece of, you're right, a lot of factors. 13, 13, remember that number 13? In Egyptology, the number 13 means a new beginning. In Christianity, they say it the number 13 is sacred because it represents Christ and the 12 disciples, but that's a whole nother thing. Number 13, number 13, reasons for divorce: lack of shared interest, incompatibility between partners. Number 12, marrying too young. That's understandable. That would be me. Number 11, financial problems and debt. That goes along with marrying too young and not having uh, whatever. I think so. Number 10, one spouse not carrying their weight in the marriage. Wow. Wow. So, how many marriages actually have a Jay Z and a Beyonce, where everybody carries their own water and put it together to make a lake or a river? Now, the difference is if a man sees a woman in Popeyes or McDonald's and he's smitten by that woman, by the same token, if a sister sees a man in Popeyes, she just see a man in Popeyes, give him my chicken, I'll see you later. Unless, and this is a caveat, I gotta throw this one in. I don't know how many of you people are weird like me, but one of my favorite shows is TV One or whatever station it is for my man. And I said, where do they get these women that's willing to kill to prove their love to a man? Okay, chew on that. Number 9, absence of romantic intimacy of love. Now, already said Teddy got it wrong. 50-50 love. If you're saving 50% for yourself, some of what I need might be in that 50%. If I'm saving 50%, what you need, I think I'm loving you the way you need me to love you. But what, the way you really need me to love is caught up in the 50% that I'm holding back. John Legend, I think, got it right. All of you for all of me. Just my take. Number 8, addiction. Alcohol, drugs, gambling, and sex. Well, sex addiction was a problem for Hallie. She said that Eric Benet wanted it all the time. I said, wow, isn't that a good thing, woman? Ladies, is it not a good thing that your man can't get enough of you? Because if it's good, I ain't saying that. Trade secrets. Number 7, opposing values or morals. Now, under this category, I say blended marriages rarely work. Shit worked on the Brady Bunch. Now, a man with three girls, but hair of gold like the mother, the youngest one in curls. You know, ah, ah. If the Brady Bunch came out today, it would be a whole lot different. Okay, but nowadays nobody wants you to tell their kids nothing, so it is what it is. Number 6, domestic abuse, violence by a partner or a parent. Now, I said this before. I didn't grow up in a house where my mom called me stupid, this, that, and the other, cussed me out, or beat me like I was a runaway slave. So if I meet a woman and she raises hell like that, exit stage left. I see you when I see you. Number 5, communication problems. Hmm. I think 90% of communication is nonverbal. When you get to that point where you're speaking without words and you just feeling each other, I think that's the key. But this is just me, you know. We'll see what Dr. Phil has to say about it one day, if I ever ask him. Number 4, lack of emotional and or physical intimacy. So that's different than romance. To me, intimacy, to me, I'm gonna tell you this, and it's just a straight up total truth. I could screw a woman and not kiss her. The most intimate thing to me is kissing somebody. And I really gotta love your ass to roll over and kiss you with that dragon bread early in the morning after I told you how I feel about tea? Number three, infidelity and extramarital affairs. This only works if your name is Jada and my name is Will. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. Number two, lack of commitment. Here's where we come to the follow. I was in a leadership class and they said, "What do you call a man with no followers?" I said, "What do you, I don't know." They said, "A man taking a walk." I was like, "Got to hear with that." But if you choose not to follow, that don't mean I don't continue on my journey. Because at some point you're either gonna want to catch up. I'm gonna meet somebody along the way who's lost their way and looking for direction on a journey. You feel me? Work with that. And number one, too much conflict and incessant arguing. Divorce.com. So I told you I was gonna start some shit. I didn't say I was gonna finish it. Because now, over the next couple of days, I want to feel you guys. I want you guys to get back with me about how you feel about some of this. Some of the best leaders are visionaries, and it takes a while for the world to catch up with them. You know? Imagine somebody saying, I got this idea to make polymers out of peanuts. And everybody said, what the hell are you playing with them damn peanuts again? And what's a polymer? And then there's somebody named Henry Ford who just came up with this thing called an automobile. And we've demonstrated how this would work. And in that day and age, he offered George Washington Carver over $1 million to come and work for him at the Ford plant. And Dr. Carver said, nah, I'm going to stick it out right here at Tuskegee. I still got some things to do. I think I'm going to play with soybeans right now. So sometimes people have a vision and they don't know why they know what they know, but they know what they know. And you'll look back later because every now and then I'll get a call from somebody I used to know and they said, you gave up too easy. I said, no, I didn't. I'm just not going to go back and forth. If you don't get it, then you were never invited. And when the phone don't ring, that's me calling. That's all I got for you tonight. I don't have the answers. All I can do, philosophize. Hit me back, because we're going to follow up on this and I want to get your input. I'm going to get my man, I'm trying to get my son here, but this is the busiest time for him. My son does programming and all of this other stuff, but he can't get down here because. So, with that being said, we're going to revisit this. But the next time I want you guys to talk. So I'm going to figure this out. I've been trying to hold back on this show, but I couldn't help myself. Because I think with each passing day, we get a little further from the basics. That's all I got for you tonight. As I say, go to my YouTube, OMITDALOGIC, subscribe, ring the bell, and share it with somebody else. Piss them off too. Tell them to get back at me. And as always, I always tell you, don't be so afraid to die that you forget to live for a reason. Because one thing about this game called life, nobody leaves alive. So I will see you here next week. Same Baptiste time, same Baptiste place, and on that YouTube channel. And as always important, I wish you love. I wish you peace. 2 fingers to the sky. Like your man. Bergamot hair grease. I'm out of here, folks. Good night. Love you to death. Ain't shit you can do about it. But get mad. So, good night. Good night. So, you heard me the whole time? Heard me the whole time? When I'm with you, I hear a song that makes me smile and sing. Something like that. Good night, people. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And look, I'm looking at some of these responses. Next week, my sister. Have a great evening to you too, man. Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. Most from peers, I do. They only say that when they stand in front of preacher and they change their mind. Till death do you part and you change your mind, whatever comes first. And that's the other show. Pay a little traction. Good night, folks. I'm bugging. Have a drink. This was over here. Here you go. Here you go. Good night.